Beautiful Ballito Bay plays host to the World Surf League's qualifying series. If you're just joining us, it is the first QS 10,000 of the year. The Ballito Pro presented by O'Neill as we stage up our second heat of the morning. You're joining us for round 112 surfers. Correa is your Brazilian in red. But watch for this young man here out of Lakey Peak, Indonesia. O.Anwar gets his campaign underway here in 2019. It is a good morning from myself, Gig Saliers, alongside someone who knows the region very, very well.
Breeze like this and the set stacked to the horizon.
Well, conditions are absolutely plum here this morning as into screen comes M.Correa, the Brazilian in this encounter. M.Crews, former championship tour surfer in blue, and Crews from the Gold Coast will get going as well. So lots of waves pouring through the lineup here this morning. If you're just joining us, it's a welcome. It's a Sawubona greeting from the east coast of South Africa as we bring you the action on day one of the QS 10,000. And of course, now a priority for the other fourth surfer in the heat, M.Cibilic, the Australian in white.
And we get the land breeze as a result.
Well, katabatic drainage running down the KwaZulu-Natal slopes here to create the offshore winds here in beautiful Ballito this morning. Reports of snowfalls up on the mountain. The O'Neill brand as well. Great to have you guys partnering this QS 10,000. What an opportunity to just join, you know, the most iconic surf brand started in 1952. Great to have O'Neill part of it as we see O.Anwar slashing away. Wave number 2 already for the Indonesian. Of course, a number of Indonesian talent really starting to emerge on the qualifying series as well.
Or rescheduling a couple of things. And it's school holidays too.
Well, here we go. M.Cibilic, the young Australian, getting going here. The lower ranked down at 161 gets a seeding into the first QS 10,000 of the year. From M.Cibilic, and now the priority being used by M.Correa. Correa probably the most experienced of the qualifying series surfers other than M.Crews. Kind of loads up and coils his turns together. And it's just beautiful brushed conditions here. You heard all part of it up against O.Anwar, the Indonesian. And, of course, M.Correa. It is the qualifying series. There are no second chances as you join us here. Open face surfing from young Morgan. Down the line he tracks. End up six. Just squares into that end section. Mistake there from the Indonesian. But no mistakes here from the priority choice of M.Crews. Out on the face, the Gold Coast surfer. Former championship tour surfer. Looking get back into qualification in this year. He's been campaigning hard as M.Crews. Saw a great clip of him in Portugal a couple of months ago. And now nice end section for M.Crews. Slams it together. Already a 667 and a 517 in the hatch early for the Australians. One of those is M.Crews. And right now it's working out just fine for M.Crews this morning. Judges do owe him a score. We feel that he might up his numbers. Maybe even a replay of that last of blue when we get the chance. Because the judges still owe us that numbers. We see O.Anwar out of Lakey Peak, Indonesia. Good turn from Oni. Nice snap there from the Indonesian, and well, good smooth style for O.Anwar. We saw a couple of successful campaigns from Oni over the last few seasons as well.
M.Correa in this heat is 62nd, or he's 62nd, that's right. And the other two surfers that's up and riding, that's M.Cibilic. Nice airdrop off that section, comes around as the wave spits. How was that little barrel there? Into the inside section. And Dylan was saying, you know, this event is it carries so much points that somebody like the surfers in this heat, ranked 161 or 180, can go from there into the top 5 of the QS in one event. As we see, pulling in on his backhand, M.Cibilic.
767 and a 6.67 sees the 14-point heat total. Now here's our fourth place surfer. Using the priority well here is the Brazilian. Nice slash on the face for Marcus. One of many Brazilians in the draw here. Combination drops his right shoulder. Kind of drops his shoulder down instead of opening his upper body up there. It comes in complete there, does our Brazilian. Was one of those guys that may have left his campaign a little bit slower in 2019.
On his backhand up and riding, that's a replay of M.Correa's wave, our surfer from Brazil. 3 cracks there. Do you think some of the guys wait till the second half of the year to really get going and miss out a lot of the first 6 months?
Yeah, I think that is a relative subject. 2-turn combination for M.Correa. Qualifying series here this morning. Here's M.Crews. Ooh, used the priority and got sold an absolute lemon there. So little mistake from M.Crews.
And in this heat so far, we've seen amazing sets. Had you taken a picture of that, it could be printed in any magazine.
Well, inside track here, second priority now being used by O.Anwar. Medium-sized wave. He's obviously very obvious what he's trying to do here. He's trying to find one of those waves that runs at a slower pace down the bank so he can fit in a number of combinations, and that's exactly what he's done here. Shortened look at some free surfing. Meanwhile, M.Cibilic goes behind the curtain in Ballito. Multiple sections, and he reappears. So good stuff there. We spoke about that tide dropping out very, very quickly here this morning.
While behind him, that's M.Cibilic's wave. This is the barrel that was way, way behind the curtain, almost backdoored that section, I'd say, and comes out nice and clean.
Almost went uphill into the barrel here. Here's M.Crews rolling into another wave here. Nice open turn there, a little bit slow there as he comes out of the wrap. So there's a couple of the bigger waves not paying the dividends here. We're going to see very important numbers coming in from that exchange. O.Anwar, meanwhile,
We're really stoked with it too, and we told them about the conditions expected for today. So in Europe, we'll welcome those guys to the webcast.
Well, here goes M.Cibilic now, your new heat leader, coming around the section. Two-turn combo, doesn't manage to capitalize on the end. One of the biggest sets now marching in. 6-8-3 for a couple of sets of maneuvers. Here's that priority being played out now. M.Correa, nice pace there. Good snap in the pocket with drift and direction. Second one, squares it up nicely. Taking a little page out of Geordie Lawler's book in the previous heat. And we saw Lawler go into the eights for a combination of backhand turns.
Taking off, solid looking wave. The beginning of this wave actually reminds me a little bit of Cave Rock and how it stood up. Very, very hollow. Off the bottom, that bottom turn sets up another crack to the lip. Air drops down.
Second, that could be at the expense of one of the Australians. Here's M.Crews digging in deep there on that boil that you spoke about. Over the ledge goes Crews. Not finding the opportunity. He's heard from the beach announcers. And down the beach, look at this tunnel here for M.Correa. Will he come out of that? Oh, the answer's no. Had a couple of popping waves here now on the low tide in Ballito this morning at the set rolling through. Here's O.Anwar. He'll be lapping this up right now. Beautiful hook in the top corner for the Indonesian. Down the line he goes. End section slam. He must hold it together. It's a little bit soft and awkward. Didn't get to go into it at full pace, did O.Anwar. Is that enough for M.Crews to find a 7.21 or not? What are you thinking, Mark? Tough one.
Very tough.
I'm going to help you. We'll answer it after the break. Stay with us. It's the Ballito Pro, presented by O'Neill.